Hello, Francisca.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So we will go through how to be able to check for journal suitability. Okay, and then
Channels.
yes, journal suitability uh, for if you have a topic in mind, you ought to first check its suitability to the journal. Okay.
Okay.
So that is one of the things that you would have to really, really look out for before you
Mm.
start putting together the kind of thoughts you want to spring through. Okay.
Okay.
Now, how do we then check for this journal suitability? You would have to let me. Okay, so we will look at it from this point. So I'm going to load the page quickly, and then we'll see how to get that. Okay, so all right, so I think it's here. Okay. Can you see the shared screen?
Yes, please, I can.
Okay. Now, let me go back one step so that I show you how you do it. Okay. In a Google search, what you do is that you type in the name of the journal. Okay. You
Okay.
type in the name of the journal. Once you type in the name of the journal, you look out for Emerald, because we are looking at Emerald today. So for Emerald, what you actually look out for is what we call the one with the Emerald Publishing. Have you seen it? You see that the first
Yeah.
one, even though it's leadership in health services, you can attest to it that it's just www.emerald.com. Okay.
Yes.
Now, but the one that you are supposed to look at actually is not that one. The one you're supposed to look at is what we call the one that has www.emeraldgrouppublishing.com. Okay. Because when you
Okay.
open the other ones, it will give you different things. Okay. But what we are looking out for is the emeraldgrouppublishing.com. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So let's just open this. Let's open this quickly. Okay, good. So the first thing we will have to look out is what we call indexing and metrics. Indexing and metrics. So let me just open that. Now, this gives you an idea as to the indexing of the journal. You know, for journals, what is important is to know whether it is indexed in what actually we call Scopus and Web of Science. So not every journal that you publish in, okay, if the journal
Okay.
is not in Scopus or Web of Science, largely it is considered as, but there are other indexing anyway, but largely these two sides of Scopus and Web of Science is the major ones that most academic institutions actually embrace, even though there are many other indexings. They have a lot of them. Okay. However, let us limit our to just these two. Okay. Now, you see that every journal has a site score. They score them annually.
Mm.
Score them annually. So the whole year, they will give you that this is your performance on Scopus and then also on Web of Science. Okay. So when you look at this, for instance, you see the Scopus is 3.6 for 2024. And so far for 2025, the works that they have done so far, they have scored them 3.1. But remember, that is just so far. Okay, so this
Okay.
score is going to range till December for them to have their annual score. You get it?
Okay. Yeah.
And then also for Web of Science, is also telling us that in 2024, for Web of Science, the impact they made is 1.8. And then also for the 5 years impact factor, it means that they have actually done an aggregation of their impact for the last 5 years. Okay. And then they are telling us that for the last 5 years, the work actually they have done is 2.1 for the last 5 years. Impact simply means that to what extent has other people looked at your work? To what extent have they used it to write their own works? And all that. It has to do with how impactful the journal has been to the academic and the community. Okay. So these are some of the things you look out for. That is number one. Number two is also to always look at publication timelines. Okay.
Okay.
We have also what we call the publication timelines. Very, very important. A lot of people don't look at this, but this is very, very important. Now, what does it mean? It tells you the time to first decision. The time to first decision. And when we say time to first decision, you see, someone will publish a paper and say that this paper, I have been working on it it's like a year or 2 years. So sometimes people complain that I have sent a work and the work has been there for a number of, largely because they don't pay attention to the publication timeline by the journal. Though they don't strictly adhere to this, but it gives you an idea how fast the journals want to work. Okay. So it varies from journal to journal. I can show you some journals that have, I think we published in a journal that has, I think, 3 days. 3 days to first decision.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I think I will show you. Let me see if I can just show you that one. Let me just see. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes, please.
Okay, right. Journal of Family. Good. This is a Journal of Family Business Management. So let me just open quickly. Now, let me go to indexing and metrics, just as I've done for the first one. Quickly, let's go. Indexing and metrics. 1, 2, go. Right. Look at this one. Scopus score is 6.7 for 2024. So far in 2025, it's 6.9. When we look at the Web of Science, it's 3.4, which is higher than, so when we compare to the other ones, you see clearly that it's higher in terms of its impact. Okay. Now let's go to the publication timeline. Look at it. Time to first decision. Look at the time to first decision. It says 3 days.
3 days.
Yes, 3 days. Then acceptance, when the paper is accepted, how many days would it take for them to publish it? So it says 27 days.
27.
Exactly. And then what is the acceptance rate? So every journal has an acceptance rate. Okay. So it means that, let's say from the layman's point of view, it means that when they receive 100 works, they actually take just about 23.
Okay.
Okay, that's what it means, that this is the acceptance rate. So people actually don't look at all these things. You have to look at them because this becomes the basis for you to be able to send a paper to about how do you call it, a journal. It's a guiding. Okay, so these things are things that a lot of people just most often just overlook, and then they send works, and then now they are saying, they are complaining that they have been rejected early and all that. You need to look at all those factors. Okay. So now let's go back to our first journal. So we are saying that this one has 46 days to the first decision. And then when the paper is accepted, it also takes them about 37 days to get the paper published. Then now let's look at the acceptance rate. We are talking about some range of 27.5. Okay. Which the acceptance rate is higher than where we looked at, because the other one we looked at was 22 point something.
Yes.
So you need to look at all that, and then you make the comparison and see whether you actually want to be with the journal or not. That is okay. One side of it. Okay. Then another thing you also ought to know is that, you see, sometimes as researchers, we forget that it is not always about your conversation, but rather it is the conversation of the journal, what the journal wants to talk about. So most often than
Okay.
not, we write papers with a certain mindset of trying to solve some problem. I get in the point. But it could be that the journal has already discussed that subject matter several years ago, or maybe in recent years they have discussed it. It could also mean that it could also be that the journal is actually not interested in that particular matter at the time that you are raising it.
Yeah.
You get it. So when you go and you don't read much about the journal, what then happens is that you are likely to be talking about something the journal is not interested in. And if the journal is not interested in, it doesn't matter how good the paper is, they will throw it away.
Yeah.
You get it. So another thing that you can do to be able to check this is to go to what we call the call for papers.
Okay.
Are you getting it? So we go for
Yes.
papers. It's not always that they have call for papers anyway, but when we look at this one, you see clearly that there are no call for papers. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me check the second journal that we looked at. We are looking at the second one is the name is Journal of Health Organization and Management. You get it?
Yes,
So
I have a topic related to this. I told you I have two topics, and then I wasn't sure which one to go with.
yes, yes.
So
So we'll look at it.
okay.
You don't worry. We will go through and we'll see which one relates to that. Okay. Now
Okay.
let's look at this one. Look at this one. It says that it has a call for paper. Can you see the call for paper?
Yes, please.
It says that advancing performance management in healthcare, harnessing digital technology for knowledge integration and value creation. You get it? So
Yes.
it is telling you clearly that this is one of the areas that the journal wants to work. You get it? And most often than not, I always advise that if you want to really get things published, follow for papers. I get it because it gives you purpose, it gives you specific direction. The only problem about it is that if your work gets rejected, to find a different journal to send it becomes a little bit cumbersome. Okay. So those are some of the things in there. Then let's now look at the overview of the journal. Okay, the kind of things the journal does or the areas they're interested in. So we will go to overview at the same place, overview. Then we will then pull it down and you see the aim and scope of the journal. Then you see the journal welcomes a variety of submission. Okay, it says empirical studies that provide new insight into health organization and management practices, theoretical and conceptual papers that offer novel frameworks or re-examine existing ones in the light of current challenges and development and all that. But let's go to the specifics. Let's go down to the specifics. Let's look at the things that it talks about. It says we are looking at issues of what? Organizational behavior and leadership in healthcare, healthcare quality, safety, and performance metrics, innovation, technology, healthcare information systems, and artificial intelligence in healthcare, healthcare economics, financial management, and resource allocation, health policy, law and regulatory compliance, global health leadership and system sustainability, patient-centered care and integrated health services, diversity, inclusion, and workforce management in healthcare, healthcare marketing, stakeholder engagement, and public relations. And then finally, it also talks about ethics and governance in healthcare. Okay, so these are the things that you look out for. So this is the domain of this journal. Okay, let's go to the first one too quickly and look at it. Now let's go to overview. Now you see clearly that here too, the aim is stated here. They are looking for practical, results-focused research articles which frame contemporary leadership theories in the context of rapidly changing healthcare environment that strains current practices, apply cases, and then to the specific. They want to look at new models of clinical and social care leadership, strategic management within healthcare organizations, improving patient care and services, and all that. So you see all enumerated there. So these are the things that are there that would inform you on the kind of topic that you should use in the first place, or you should come at the ideation process. Okay. These are the things that should inform your ideation process. You get it?
Okay.
Now, I'll also give you the secret that you ought to look at is go to the journal, look out for latest articles that they have published.
Okay.
And then look at the top downloaded articles that they have published. And then also the top cited ones.
Top downloaded.
Okay. The latest articles that the journal has published, the top downloaded articles, and then also the top cited articles. Look at it. Now, when you want to craft a topic, these kind of things should inform you that these are the kind of discussions that the journal, actually scholars are doing under this under this umbrella of the journal. Okay, so these are the things that would inform your choice. And this, all the journals have it. You see, this is the first one. If I open the second one, you see that one too. Once I go down, you see latest articles that have been published, top downloaded articles, and then equally the top cited articles. Okay, so anything we want to do in terms of research for this kind of journals, this should be our focus. You get it? Then
yes, please.
Also, there is another thing that you can equally do is to also look at all the articles that have actually been published by the journal, the latest publishing that they have done, okay? And that we can equally do that. Let's go back just one bit, okay? Then we'll pick, instead of picking the Emerald group publishing, we'll rather go for this one, okay? This one gives us issues and volumes, okay? So once we open this, then we can go down and look at it. It has a volume and then issue. So it tells you that issue 1, 2025, issue 2, 2025, issue 3, 2025, issue 4, 2025, issue 5, 2025, issue 9, 2025. And then it all falls under the volume 39. Are you getting it? So let's just open one. Okay. So once you open one, it will give you all the topics that have been published under that. So it gives you all. Okay. And these are all 2025 papers. 2025, 2025.
So soon.
So these are the things that, you see, if you don't do these preliminary works, what then happens is that you will write a very good piece. However, the journal might not be interested in that particular topic that you are writing on.
Okay.
Are you getting it? So that your sure bet is the processes I have taken you through now. So what we are going to do is that the two of us, we are going to look for a topic, okay, that is going to border on what you have already done, okay? So it's more on a bit of digital technology in there because you are looking at enablers. Is that not it?
Yes.
So we are both going
barriers and enablers.
Exactly so. We are going to look at all the topics that have something to do with healthcare and digital technologies.
Okay.
Okay. We'll go through these two journals. And then when we are done with these two journals, we'll go to other journals too that have done something. We'll put the topic in Google Scholar and also look at what other journals are also churning out. You get the point? Then we will do that today, not beyond today, so that we will both agree on the topic that we want to pursue.
Okay.
And then that will be a very good base for us to start work. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
That's fine. All right. So we are done. So I'm cutting it. Then we'll talk. I'll call you on the phone and we'll talk. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Bye.